Ta-da!
Here we are.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy for this conversation to take place. I'm having an amazing guest, Nicoline Huizinga, or
Yes.
you will correct me. But long story short, I met Nicoline online on LinkedIn through the post of my community, which is this amazing thing on LinkedIn that you meet people through your people. So you expand your community within your community. And today we are two beautiful souls who have this, how to say, this opportunity to find our, uh, how to say, to see our life from different perspectives. And we have discovered such tool or way of understanding ourselves better through human design. And I would like to introduce my guest, my co-host, Nicoline, for today's conversation. Hi, Nicoline.
Hi, Eva. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited that we're going live and telling people about human design and especially how they can use it to live out loud. And so I'm really excited for this. So let's make it a great session. And yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, just to make short intro, why this topic came to me, and I was really happy to see you in my community and connect is that it was maybe 3.5 years ago when I met with one of my partners whom we partner up on LinkedIn. And in one of the first calls, he asked me, "What is your, date of birth and place of birth?" And I was like, "Why do you need it?" And then I received back information. "This is your human design type," and blah 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 blah. And I was like, "What does it mean? What does it tell you?" I don't know what does it tell you, but it doesn't tell me anything. So it was like 2 years I forgot about this, and I guess it was last year when somehow this topic came to me back, and I really felt this is the time I'm ready to receive this information and peel it. And since then it's already more than a year. Like time to time I come back to the topic and peel human design and discover so many worthy things for myself. And I understand that it just gives us a permission, to be ourselves and understand ourselves better, and see from the side how we make decisions and when we feel happy with our decisions and when we won't don't.
Yeah.
So and this is maybe also the shift to you, Nicolene. Tell me your experience with human design. What kind of bird you are and why human design in your life, and what do you do with it now?
Yeah. So I love it that it came to you that way. And I totally get your reaction when you first hear about your human design. You're like, yeah, interesting, but what does it mean and what can I do with it? I had the very same response when I got in touch with human design for the first time. I got my human design. I was like, yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting. But what does it actually mean for me in my life? What does it mean for me in my business? I don't know. So I came in touch with human design 6 years ago, and I found out that I am a 1-3 emotional generator. And I was like, oh, okay. And but when I really started to dig deeper into the elements of human design, so for instance, to look at one of the elements, I'm a generator. And generators are supposed to respond. That's their best strategy through life. So you get a cue, you get like a link, you get an image, you get a question, you get anything, and you respond to it when you feel like responding. And that was such a huge relief when I found out about that. I was like, oh, so I'm not supposed to initiate like out of the blue, because that's when the hard work starts and the
Mm.
results go down, because I'm not supposed to initiate. I'm supposed to respond. And that's what I when I found out about that, that was such a huge game changer already. And second, what I found out was when I heard about me being a 1-3, and those are profile lines in human design language. The one, for instance, is someone who loves knowledge, who loves learning, who loves information, data, and that's me. I mean, I'm like Sherlock Holmes. I love digging deep into stuff. And when I heard about it, I was like, yeah, that's me. So I'm not crazy, but this is just the way I am. And the three in my profile is the person who loves to experiment and test and try. And I always felt like, oh, I tried so many things and so many things didn't work. Like when you look at an online business, I have 64 landing pages of stuff that didn't work.
And you felt like you are a failure, right? Before the human
Absolutely.
design. Yeah.
Absolutely. So when I found out about the three in my profile, I was like, oh, so I'm not failing. This
Yeah.
is the way I am supposed to go through life, through testing, trying, experimenting. And that was such a huge relief. And then I started working with it with my clients, and I saw the same reactions like over and over again. People were like, oh, so I'm not crazy. I'm not, I'm not broken. Nothing needs to be fixed. This is just the way I am. And all I need to do, all between air quotes, because it's quite a journey, is follow my human design. And that's when the magic started to happen for me and for them as well.
Yeah, what you say about this, responding, not initiating, this is where I felt really, and I felt the big discomfort when I was trying to initiate. My projector means to wait for the invite.
Inspiration.
And another failure for me, like when I felt that it's not correct, is when I jump in the same activity, tempo with generators. It's also not my type. I'm different, but I really felt okay. I'm in the party, but I'm really exhausting, from this. And then I felt it's something is not right.
Yeah.
And it's so liberating when you find these, answers
That's
for
it.
yourself. I agree
That's
with
it,
you.
right? Yeah, and I have the same response for many projectors, manifestors, reflectors. They don't have the similar energy like a generator and a manifesting generator have. So it for them it's a huge relief. Like, oh, so I'm not weird. I'm not strange. It's not like, oh, I'm always tired. No, you're not always tired. You need to guard your energy much better than the generators and the manifesting generators, even though they can be burned out as well. If they don't follow the joy and the satisfaction, they can get into a state of being very tired and exhausted as well. But it's so important once we know, we can navigate it. And when we try to be something that we're not, that's where frustration and anger and exhaustion come in.
And bitterness for me.
Yeah, and bitterness for you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and frustration for generators and
Yeah, yeah.
manifesting generators because you're trying so hard and it's not working. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? Why isn't it working? Well, because you're not following the path that you're supposed to follow, and that's different from what you see and what you get from other people, especially in the online space.
But if I understand correctly, then it's very useful from what you say and what I have experienced, that it's been really useful experience to discover how you make decisions as a professional, as an entrepreneur, as an employee, and knowing those, you know, situations which were not right for you, and learning why it was like this. It
Yeah.
really gives you a different perspective and different, even direction where you can lead your career or your business. And helping businesses is something what really bonds us with you as well, because I'm helping businesses and professionals, and you are helping businesses professionals. And could you please describe the angle, how does it come to life when human design and business come together, what it is, how it can be useful?
Yeah, so I help mainly business owners, solopreneurs, freelancers, people who are the business, basically. And how it benefits them is once they know their human design, they can build a business around that. Not so much about their human design, but using their energy, because human design is all about energy. They can build the business around their energy. So for you, for instance, as a projector, I would say it's not about setting goals initially. For you, it's prioritizing rest, prioritizing sleep. That's the most important thing, because you can be incredibly productive in a very short amount of time. But if you try to do the same thing as a generator, for instance, it's
Mhm.
really going to exhaust you. So, how it comes to life is that we first look at your energy type, and then we start building the business around that. So for you, it would be really good to have those waves of energy and follow them, instead of, keeping high speed all day. So automation, for instance, is a huge thing for a projector, for a manifester, and for a reflector, because of the energy. So having systems and funnels and all of that in place is incredibly important. Of course, it's important for generators and manifesting generators as well, but they have the consistent energy to do different things. Then looking at business opportunities, we really look at their design. So what you're doing right now, you are a 4-6. So the 4 is all about networking, collaboration. So you're following your design. And what I do, I am responding because you invited me, and I responded. I felt the sacral yes, like, oh yeah, I want to do this. And so we are both following our design. And this is what I help my clients with. So when you, for instance, when you have a 4 in your profile, we look for ways to collaborate with other people. We look for great networking opportunities. We look for opportunities to be invited as a guest speaker, because that's when you follow the 4, instead of you trying to initiate a lot of things. That is exhausting. So these are just a few examples of how we make human design work. It's never about human design. It's always about the end result. And the end result is following your own energy, following the way you're wired, the way you make decisions, and following the route that is best for you, so you can run a business with joy and with pleasure. And it's not like struggling, and it's hard, and it's hard working, and you're exhausted by the end of the week. It's following the fun and following the joy. And even though I know there are people watching this and like, yeah, right, it's hard working. It is, but it's fun, and it's not exhausting. And that's the whole difference.
When you speak about you know following your design, this number 4 plays to me in very interesting ways, that I realized that I'm not meant for cold audiences.
No,
And
no.
I was going out in cold audiences. It's connected with my how to say entrepreneurial experiences and explorations, in different directions, different areas. And I've been involved in uh, low ticket and high ticket experiences. And this is where you really have to pick up phone and call people who are not expecting your phone not
Mm,
call. They don't know you, they don't trust you, and you feel so exhausted just after 3 dials. And it's like, I cannot do anything today anymore. I'm so like disorientated.
yeah.
And then when I came to realize that building this warm community, creating this scalable trust, and then communicating, it's already different. It's like warm waters, and people accept you, and they come, they give you those invitations. Actually, you just create those opportunities. It's very practical to understand how this human design and Yeah, how it really applies to your business. And like you said, first, your luckily those people who come first to you, they know their design, and then they build business aligning.
Yes.
Sometimes it's also good to know your business, but then align it accordingly to
Yeah.
to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially what you said about, cold calling. I mean, as a projector, cold calling doesn't work because you need to wait for the invitation. You don't issue the invitation yourself. You wait for the invitation. And then when you have the four, it's all about networking. So you better invest your time into building a community and being part of a network. And so people know you and you know them. That's a better use of your time than doing the cold calling, because it's not going to work. And it's the same for generators. Generators need to respond. So cold calling for a generator, don't do it. It's no use. Once you respond to something, that makes sense. But it's when you're not responding to anything and you're just, picking up the phone and you're calling, it's not the best use of your energy. So I think you're absolutely right in doing what you are doing right now, building the community, building the group of people who know you, you know them, and that's where you get the business deals from
Yeah,
people who know you.
yeah. This is not my profile reading. We
No,
just
no, but it's such a great example.
yeah. I mean, I just want to serve our communities, to speak for topics also relatable for all of our
Yeah,
friends who will, or clients or partners who would listen this live afterwards. But
yeah,
I just had this conversation this morning with a friend of mine, and we walked through the parks and spoke on my topics and the other person's topics. And one of the topics was how to be a leader, and how to actually human design helps within your team. Even if you're an entrepreneur and maybe you have some two or three people on your team, maybe you're not only solo entrepreneur, but
hmm,
still you have people. And not to have this situation like having projector and asking him to make the cold calls, because the people, that kind of person, it's just impossible to provide the happy long relationship in the company if person is doing something against its design. So it's harmful for the person, it's harmful for the overall results of the business.
true.
So I realized how it's important just to have this information about your employee. That's why my partner asked me this, to
Yes.
realize what kind of projects we can do together and what is not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
And, and
yeah.
I, then I realized it's so worthy, to understand whom you are working with, whom you are hiring, what tasks you are given. Maybe it's like completely your no go. It's so
Absolutely.
worthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like for instance, for me, if I work with someone, I have a lot of open centers in my design. This is a bit technical for those of you who are watching and don't know human design, but that means that I get a lot of input from the outside world, to put it like that. So when someone asks me open-ended questions, I don't have an answer. So when I was still working in corporate, I often got the question in my annual appraisal session, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? I was like, I don't know, because an open-ended question is really hard for me. With all these open centers, because there are so many possibilities for me. I can see 1,000 things that I can be in 5 years' time. But if they would ask me a yes or no question, I can answer that with my defined sacral center, which is my source of energy, but it's also my inner compass. And it's so much easier for me to answer a yes or no question. So when I work with people and they know this about me, don't ask me an open ended question. Ask me a yes or no question. Then I can answer so much easily. And then I can choose and I can decide, and it's so much easier. And when people don't know this, And I mean, I got the question just recently. Someone said, "Oh, tell me everything you know about human design," and I was like, "I, I don't know." I don't know. But when they gave me an example and they said, "Oh, but I'm struggling with this," and I was like, I'm a generator. I can respond to this. But tell me everything you know. I was like, I know nothing, which is not true because I know a lot. But with my design, I need to have and get some very specific questions. Then I can respond.
But actually, this is a great point. For example, if you are in a partnership with your clients, partners, employees, even if they don't know human design, you know your design and you can communicate. Please, it would be much helpful for me if this
Exactly.
would be like not open question, but yes or no question, or,
Exactly.
you know, and this would help communication and the process and the results so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you know, for instance, another element of your human design, your authority, your decision making tool, I'm an emotional generator. So, what I need when I take a decision is time. So, when someone asks me, like on the spot, like, is this what you want or not? I'm like, oh, I'm enthusiastic, easily enthusiastic. But I need time. So, since I knew my human design, I learned to trust that more. So now I buy time by saying, I'll get back to you to you about that in the morning, or I'll get back to you in 2 days about that, because I need to take time to reflect and feel my wave of emotions on this particular decision. Because when I take the decision on the high, the next day I could regret it. So, and then the next day I'm like, oh, why did I say yes to this? So now I know I need time. So I think about it and then I feel the enthusiasm and I'm like, oh yeah, I love it. And then the next day I'm like, perhaps it's not the right thing. So until my emotions are neutral, and then I can decide. And those are my best decisions. But it's really something that I got to get used to in the beginning. And I was like, oh, this is why I regretted some of my choices, because I took the decision on the high and I should have waited a bit. So sleeping on it, when you have emotional authority, like 50% of the people have emotional authority, sleeping on it is the best advice.
Please tell me, what is emotional authority? Is it like this self-projected projector? Is it
No,
the same? No, it's
no,
something else. Yeah.
no, it's different. It's different. When you look at the body graph, so that's the
Yeah.
image that you get from your human design. It's
Emotional means you have active emotional center, right?
Yes, I have
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
active
Understand.
emotional center, and when you have that, your
Yeah.
emotions go like
Yeah.
up and down in
Yeah.
waves, and I
Understand.
need to sit out that entire wave of emotions before I'm able to take a decision.
You are like my daughter, but then my sister always like super super fast decision maker, and maybe it's the challenge to, you know, the shadow to the gift where
Yeah,
you can move. Yeah,
yeah.
from there.
So, and some people have like sacral authority. Some generators and manifesting generators have sacral authority. So they can take decisions with the right yes and no questions. They can take decisions like on the spot. There are people with splenic authority. They have like the intuitive knowing. They can take decisions on the spot. But the emotional authority people, like me, we need time.
We are becoming very technical, but this is the place I would like, you know, all the people, our community who will listen and view this live or in recording, that you visit Nicoline's profile on LinkedIn or in YouTube. You will have the contacts where you can really make free profile analysis.
Yes.
You have your design, and then you from there you can connect with Nicoline and do the reading of your design. This
Yes.
is, I think, the most value, like the first steps, you know, to understand where to go now.
Yeah, yeah, because there are by now there are so many tools out there and sources out there when it comes to human design. For many people, it's hard. It's like learning a new language. And that's what I love doing, to make it simple and to make it practical. So you're a generator, what does that mean? So you're a manifester, what does that mean for your life, for your business? And I think knowing your design is like the first step
Can you?
towards an easier life.
Yeah, it's interesting, Nicoline. Maybe not mentioning any names, but maybe some example what you have experienced, like the latest some experiences. What what learning about their own design has done great to the people who are in their business, and what aha moments they have received, and how it has changed their,
Yeah.
ah, I'll go there, I'll do that, I won't do that, I quit that, I start that. Maybe
Yeah.
some examples,
Yeah.
without names.
So I have many examples. One great example is, it's a recent one, of one of my great clients who always followed launching her programs according to the standard, I would say, launching methods. So many people, and especially online business owners, do this. You run a challenge, you do a masterclass, you send emails to your list, you have cart open at some date, and you try to get people in, and then you have a certain starting date, and then the sales closes at some point. But in the meantime, when you're in that time of launching, it's exhausting. And one of the things that changed for my client was that we kept an open enrollment. So we're not going to start. So we changed her product and her service into an open enrollment. So people could join anytime, and they could follow, they could stay for 3 months or 6 months in the program, and then they could renew if they want to. So that took away a lot of the pressure of launching. So she was like, accepting people all the time. And it was so much more in response. She's a generator. She was
I
responding.
wanted to ask.
She's a
Yeah,
generator. So she was responding to when she spoke to a person, and she was like, oh, but this program could be really interesting for you. You can join if you want to. But if you want, you can join next month as well. And that was such a relief for her, not to have this stressful period of time of launching and selling and really being on it and being all over social media all the time. And she was like, now I can just be visible the way I want to be. I can invite people in. So much more relaxation. And then as a result, because of the relaxation, the
yeah,
sales went up. And because when she launched the traditional way, it was hard to get people into the group, because she had like, oh, this date is the starting date. We need to have, I don't know, 10 people to start. And then it was like really hard to get people in. And now she's just selling, people coming in, and it's so much easier for her. And the sales went up like incredibly results that
I
she
just,
got.
yeah, I just want to jump in here. I have tested something similar on my skin when I launched some, super special off-price offer for my community, just because to serve. It's like this banner is like living its own independent life, is nobody is seeing it, like it's like it's invisible.
Yeah,
When there is no announcements, no events, no banners, the flow is,
yeah,
going naturally.
yeah,
So I realized how funny it is. For some people it's the way to go. For some people it's no go.
yeah,
Don't do any, those. For me it's like cold event.
yeah,
It's all called audience events, like no go completely.
yeah, yeah. And that's it's so interesting that you have this experience as well. I mean, one of my other clients is a manifesting generator. And as you know, many people always tell you, like, oh, you should have a niche. You really should niche down. Who do you serve? What is your product? What is your one thing? And for manifesting generators who are multi-talented and multi-passionate, it's incredibly tough to niche down. So basically, what I tell my manifesting generator clients, let's find the overarching umbrella under
Yeah.
which all your activities have a place, and start talking about the overarching theme instead of about all the various projects. But keep doing the projects because you need them. It's like your life force, it's like your creativity, it's your power. And if you are forced to do just one thing, you'll
Yeah.
die of boredom. So, and that's what my manifesting generator client did. She went from speaking about all the different things that she did where people
Yeah.
got confused, her audience got confused, like, what is it that you do? Are you doing this or that or that? What is it that you do? And then she started talking about the overarching umbrella, and then it all started to make sense for her people. So that was the biggest shift. And it sounds like, you know, a tiny thing, but it was a big thing for her, and it really made a big difference. And now her programs are all sold out all the time because she talks about the overarching theme.
I think it's so worthy that you have those different situations, but they come from unique human design, you know,
Yeah.
information what we receive about each person. It's already like written, your past is written, but you just have to follow and develop those, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
those
You
the
know,
way for you. Mhm.
it's all about trusting who you are, and it's about getting out of your own way, and that is taking personal leadership for who you truly are. And it's not about, I spoke to a friend of mine the other day, and
Yeah.
we talked about it, that it's not hiding behind your design, like, oh, I'm a projector, I don't do this or that, or
Sure.
oh, I'm a generator, or I'm a reflector. Or it's really taking responsibility and taking personal leadership on, okay, this is how I'm wired, so this is how I move forward, and this is how I navigate the vessel we call our personality and our body through this life. And that's how we take best care of ourselves. But we need to learn how to trust, and we need to get out of our own way in order to be the best version of ourselves, and live a life that's happy and joyful.
I guess you could join me on this, but I I will speak on behalf of maybe part of the people that it's not so easy to trust some kind of system
No.
and go against the normal system and start trusting yourself. Maybe you are completely crazy now to, you know, to go away from your employed work and start your business, or go away from that business idea and shift to completely different type of business. What people will say, what people will think, you know, all this uncertainty, you know, and how can you trust, you know, just because of the reading.
Yeah, I know it's hard. But the funny thing is, when I talk to people about their human design, it's reconnecting them to things they already knew.
True, right.
And whenever I tell people, like, things and elements about their human design, it's like, yeah, I've always known this, but I always felt weird, I always felt a bit crazy. And it's true what you said, it's about trusting. And especially when you have people around you who are like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Oh, should you do that? Is that the best way forward? And when you have in your design several open centers who are sensitive to
Yeah.
other people's opinions and judgment, then it can be extra hard.
Mm.
But I think this is what we're here to do, to learn how to trust, and to really lean into the beautiful, unique design that we all have. And yeah, like I said, that's when the magic happens. And I'm so excited to tell more and more people about this,
Yeah.
because everyone should know this. Everyone should know this from a very young age.
Like we talk, the kids as well should know it. Just
Absolutely.
to jump in, I think um, what we can unite our communities, see your profile, Nicoline Huizinga on LinkedIn. Check your free human design um, image. You receive all the information to start with.
Yeah.
If you get confused, feel free to connect to Nicoline and
Yeah.
go for the individual reading, because I think um, nobody is happy when you are not happy, and you're not delivering in your career, you're not delivering in your business, not to your teammates, not to your family. And then what is better to understand yourself, and maybe not to be comfortable for some people, but maybe those people are not even your cup of tea, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, being on an airplane, you put your own oxygen mask on first before helping
True.
others. When you are the best version you can be, you make the world a better place. Because when you are doing well, people around you will be doing well, and they will radiate that energy to others. And by being your best self, you're doing the world a great favor. And like you said, if people around you are not liking that, then maybe you're not around the right people. That could be painful, but in the end, it's much more painful to try to adapt and adjust and try to fit in. That hurts much more than eventually being yourself.
Yeah, and I think this learning also gives you permission to be yourself, to appreciate who you are and for what you are and how you are built. And it gives you more liberation and freedom to express yourself. You feel more self-confident and content with how you see things. It doesn't mean that those are right, but this is your way. And this gives you more authenticity when it comes to the career, when it comes to business. Also on LinkedIn, people feel that some people are not authentic, that they speak different things, how they behave differently how they speak, and then it's your business or reputation you want to push and scale. And the trust is, I think, equal with your authentic self.
Yes.
So with human design, somehow you receive those fundamental answers, which is like, is it me or is it not me, and where am I? And when you understand who you shouldn't be and who you could be, it's like it's giving you another, like you say, energy. But the energy is what creates this trust,
Yeah.
understanding, the good feeling. And maybe you don't change the other people, but they change because you change.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I truly believe, and I would love to hear from you what you think about that. But I think more and more people have a radar for knowing when something is not genuine. So your clients or your potential clients, especially when they see you on LinkedIn or on any social media platform, when you try to be something that you're not, your audience senses that something is off. And I think that is a growing awareness. That is a trend. More and more people have this awareness, and they feel like, something is not right about this person. And a confused mind never buys. So you're actually doing yourself and your audience a huge favor when you actually know who you are and you act accordingly. So yeah, it's all about that.
One trick what I experienced yesterday on one networking event is that I met a couple of people whom I met on LinkedIn like for the years, continuous time,
Yeah.
and we are like friends on platform. But when we met finally in face, it was a bit cautious, because in the real time I'm not initiating those conversations. I'm this reserved and waiting for this welcoming
Yeah.
way coming my way. And maybe people perceive me online, in the online world, like super this open party communicator, networker. But it's my way of inviting.
Yeah.
But in real time, I'm more reserved and more relaxed. So it was really good experience for myself to see the reaction of other people. So I was not jumping on them. I was like, hello, hi, good to see you, nice to see you. But
Yeah.
it's really different, and people really feel that you are authentic or not. I have received many times comments that who who they see I'm online, it's what they feel when they meet me. It's no difference, but it's true. People feel that people are fake
Yeah.
with their brands, with their communication, and yeah, it's really big risk for. So it's better to make human design reading with Nicoline, understand what not to do, and
Yeah.
then build your really trusted brand, your trusted business communication and funnel based on your authentic self.
Absolutely. I fully agree.
Yeah, how would you see, what would you do if it wasn't human design now in your life for 6 years? What would you do? How do you think, what were your ideas of your life?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. Oh my goodness, I don't know. I really don't know because it made such a huge difference for me, and there are many great tools out there when it comes to looking at your personality, looking at your behavior. So there are many tests and assessments and all of that, but none of them brought what human design brought me. So, oh, I don't know the answer to that question. Where would I be with it? No, I really, I really don't know.
Yeah, I
Really,
really loved. I really loved. It's this open question which you don't
no,
like.
no, exactly. It's an open-ended question, but it's also if I would eliminate human design out of my life. Wow, I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there would be something else, but I'm also pretty sure it would be much harder for me because
True.
I wouldn't fully understand how I'm wired. Of course, with experience and over time, but I think I still would be in the more judgmental mode when it comes to myself and my own performance as an entrepreneur. So yeah, I think it's a hard question to answer, but I think I would be a lot further away from the person that I am today.
And you wouldn't serve so many people so they can
No,
liberate themselves. But
no, no.
speaking of other people, I really love to learn your traveler
Yeah.
side, and how you are exploring Spain lately. And you told me about a great opportunity which is coming up in the fall. Maybe you can just give a short glimpse, like before we close our call. What
Yeah.
is happening? Can people join you, or what
Yes.
what is what they can do together with you?
Yes. So what I'm doing now, I'm organizing a retreat in the south of Spain. It's near Malaga, 70 kilometers from Malaga, a beautiful village near the coast. We're going to be working on the business. We're going to be working on your unique talents and skills, on what holds you back. We're going to map out products and services, your messaging, and planning for 2025. That's what we're going to do in November. And if that's something that is appealing to you, then by all means, join me in the south of Spain. I know the area quite well by now, and I can show you the most beautiful spots. And we're going to be working at a few great spots. And I know by experience how wonderful it is to be detached from your normal daily routines to really focus and work on your business in such a beautiful and inspiring environment. So, yeah, people are very welcome to join. So let me know if you need more information, DM me, and I'm happy to give them.
Awesome, awesome. Is there some suggested deadline for people to apply to this
Yeah,
opportunity?
because it's filling up quite
Yeah,
nice, and it's going to be a small group.
yeah.
So, but I'm happy to run a second group.
True.
So that's all good. But I would say mid-September is absolutely the deadline, because if not earlier, but please reach out. And I'm happy to open a second group if needed.
Yeah, it's awesome, Nicoline. I'm really happy to have this opportunity to speak on this topic, because till up till now it was my internal, dialogue with myself for the
Yeah.
year. Maybe I shared some details, with some friends and family, but still it was like something wow. And now, like my self-projected projector, it's like now I hear myself through our
Perfect. That's perfect.
this is like the cherry on the cake for me. And uh, just I wanted to ask you before we close the call. What is something that you have really felt truly, like a blessing or like an answer, like a happy aha moment from this experience with human design for yourself?
Oh, those experiences were numerous, but I think the most important one for me is that all I need to do, and again, all between air quotes, because that's tough sometimes, is follow the joy. If it lights me up, then I can follow it. If it doesn't light me up, I'm a generator. So this is for generators and manifesting generators. If it doesn't light you up, you don't have to follow it. And it's not for you. And that was the thing that made the biggest difference for me. That now I know if it doesn't light me up, I can just let it pass and I don't have to do anything with it. So that was a big game changer. Instead of, my head or my ego taking over, like, no, but I should take this opportunity because it's a smart thing to do. But if it doesn't light me up, I'm not going to do it anymore. And that was a huge shift.
It's very valuable indeed. I think this is when you receive this permission,
Yeah.
to act in accordance with your, I don't know, harmonious feeling. It's
Yeah.
like so liberating.
Yeah,
I
it
totally
is.
agree. I
Absolutely.
wanted to for the last for me. I wanted to share my latest win. I received a call from a friend, and she wanted to invite me new business opportunity coming from Japan. And I was like, is it those water filters? Yeah, it's water filters. I say, it's good. You should have more generators on your team. I'm not good for you. I was like, yes, you did it, because it's cold calling.
Yeah.
It's like high ticket. It's cold calls. I was
Right.
like, yeah, but you did it. You did it. You recognize not self. It's like, wow. It felt
Perfect.
liberating.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same. It's the same for me. When I feel some, and people can make a lot of sense, and have very good arguments like, yeah, but this is a great opportunity and it's a smart thing, will be good for your business and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, no, because it doesn't light me up. And then people are like, yeah, but what do you mean by that? I'm like, I'm not enthusiastic about it, so I'm not going to do it. And that's the only explanation that I have to give, nothing else. And that made such a huge difference.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
more opportunities for each of us to lighten us up, to
absolutely.
listen to ourselves, to be true to ourselves, and not to do something that harms our feeling that it's not for us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because maybe some words to close.
Yeah, so words to close is basically what I would love to do for other people to realize you are perfect the way you are. You're incredibly talented and skilled, and it's really time to fully embrace that and to start realizing that. Don't ever think something is wrong with you, that you don't fit in. You are born to stand out. Every one of us was born to stand out, but not every one of us has the courage to do it. And I'm here to give you that courage. And that's my personal mission, to really connect you to that inner fire, to that true core of who you really are. Because like I said, if you are your best self, the whole world benefits. And that's really my wish for everyone, that they build the courage to be themselves.
Cool. I appreciate your time and energy. It was very,
Thank
very enlightening for myself, and I feel I will create the situation where I can generate not the invite, but so we still have this opportunity to continue this
Yeah.
discussion. There are many points for our audiences valuable in their entrepreneurial and professional journeys. So
Yeah.
yeah, Nicoline, thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you everyone who will listen this in recording and follow Nicoline, connect with her, and have a have your profile reading at least.
Yes,
That's a good start.
absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thank you for this wonderful